The dust has settled. We got another YCS in the book, and yes, Salamangreat actually was on fire for this event. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Your top 32 breakdown here. Wow, this is so much refreshing for the meta. Wow, 11 Fire Kings. Well, that's not 16, of the top 32. They're slacking out here. I mean, the point is Fire King and actually Snake Eyes with 8 builds taking up 19 combined of your slots for this top cut. Anybody else surprised about that? No? Okay, excellent. Another meta, another day in the office. We had 3 Kashtira decks in top 32, which I mean, you high roll enough shifters, you're bound to win. Right? If they're not playing the food show to, get the turn skipped, try to do things, well then, I mean, that's kind of on them. And then we had 3 voiceless voice decks in the top 16 as well. So Voiceless Voice doing very, very strong work out here. Still showcasing that, this deck is new. It is still a top contender. It's doing well. Now your one-ups here. We had 1 Purely in the top cut. Once again, I mean, the cat just kind of rolls through rogue decks, and I'm not all that surprised to see that the big cat is still doing things. Only 1 branded deck in the top cut. That's rough, actually, to see. Which, it's actually kind of crazy to see such a fall off and shift in that regard. We also had 1 Vanquish Soul in top cut, actually. That's actually very refreshing to see. Vanquish Soul, I've seen it show up a little bit more on the regional circuit over the last week or so. It kind of looked like it fell off for a little bit, but I guess players returned back to it. Flounder had 1 showing, which is crazy because the remote regional this weekend was just dominated with 2 Flounders and actually won the remote dual regional, so that's something crazy. We also had a Shark duel. Another reason why I didn't mention Shark earlier is we do not have the list as of filming this because I'm already going to read 8 comments going, wow, I can't believe you talked about Sharks topping. They topped. All right, it's just that. We don't have a list. Duelist has not posted it. That might come to light in the next couple hours. But as of filming this, sitting it down, preparing it to get it up, guess what? It's not public knowledge at the moment, so you're going to have to wait. You can only work with what's available. And I love that I have to put that into these videos and go, hey, you know why it's not in the video? Because it wasn't there. Strange knowledge. We also had a Phantom Knight list that was classified as a Horus control deck, which is interesting to me, but it's Phantom Knight, evidently. And we also had 1 Salamangreat in your top 32. So, I mean, personally, it looks a lot better this time. I think there were, 900 people for this YCS? Top 16. 7 Fire Kings with 4 Snake Eyes. That's 11 of your top cut. Wow, we're really over those numbers now. At least 5 decks to challenge this meta, of which those challengers were 2 Kashtira, which is personally fine. I mean, hey, we only lost 1 Kashtira from the transition from 32 into top 16. That's pretty good. We had 1 Voiceless Voice, so still holding on, doing well. We also had our 1 Flunderies duelist. Good job. And we had Purely still kind of holding on here. So, as you're transitioning on into your top 16 here, I mean, things genuinely look a little bit rough, but there's still a little bit of hope, before things get a little bit rocky. And it's good to see which decks look like they're trying to stand up to the meta. And I mean, look like. Your top 8 is where my vested interest in this tournament comes to an end, unfortunately, as top 8 is 4 Snake Eyes versus 4 Fire Kings. And you're just like, what? Evidently, from what I read, Snake Eyes ended up taking it on home. Well, I mean, who would have guessed that? Snake Eyes won the YCS. Yeah, I mean, Snake Eyes has been under, representation for most of this format, but, it's been pretty much proven at this point, the deck with a right competent player can grind out a lot of the meta, and it's just the way it is. And as we go, I mean, we have the OCG ban list coming up here at the end of the month. The TCG will probably follow similar suit. I think at this point we start to sunset the format, even though there's like 21 days left in the format. 22, yeah, 21 should be. And that's that. That's all they wrote. Let's pass on over to deck list. All right, so our first deck list here is going to be Fire King. Deck lists are really weird for this event because, I think they're 16, 15 hours after time change. From me at the moment, maybe a little bit less or more, but depends on the zone. Most of your ratios in the main deck here, you're doing the triple cross out. Actually interesting to see Droll back in for this. This is kind of interesting. I do like actually seeing Solemn Strike in this deck. Like, it's kind of cool because most of the people are going to look at what Snake Eye sets and they're going to go, wow, that's it's not all that important, and then they might play into this, all crazily, and they're just caught with their pants on. I'm like, wow, you just actually blew me out. I think that's a big thing about this. I also see we're actually playing the Change of Heart and the Mind Control, and we actually get to see Curry Kara in this build. I feel like I haven't seen hardly any Curry Kara at all in Fire King, but that's a very nice inclusion. Also, access to the Broken Link 1 machine, yes, this broken good card. But outside of that, deck feels, once again, I'm going to say it, incredibly standard, as is the Fire meta. Hello, my dear old friend Kashtira. How are you? So I'd like to give a personal shout out to the Shifter Machine. The Shifter Machine will win you the easiest games that you can ever have in the Yugiverse, and that's essentially all she wrote. Also, Triple Ghost Bell. This is kind of refreshing to actually see Ghost Bell, starting to be a little bit more of a hand trap of choice. Like, I'm actually kind of happy to see this. And of course, most of these builds are doing the G Golem, Decode Talk, or Heat Soul little extra deck play. Yeah, it's a heavy dedication in the extra deck for this stuff, but the draw package is very, very important. All right, like, Cash needs to replenish and get to these, these power cards, or at least enough to keep these little floaters on the field to kind of keep things going. You got to keep the lights on for this. Of course, you do see the Droll, and of course, I summon limit. I also see this build is opting to play the Thrust to go into the different dimension ground. I've seen Labyrinth could do it, just bidding set the free little macro machine. So, okay, we'll take it. All right. Oh, we have our Salamangreat list. I'm really happy to see that Charge has been showing up a lot more in these Salad lists. If you've been paying anywhere attention to, I think, what has it been, the last 2 to 3 Salad lists that have actually shown up, you have been seeing a lot of Salamangreat Charge. Like, this card actually is pretty good. Salamangreat Tiger, discard one other special summon this card from your hand, and then once per turn, if this card would be synchro material for a fire monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. We're just using this as a level 5. Once per turn, you can increase or decrease this card's level by 1. This deck should not be allowed to have access to Baron to Floor, but I guess even now, this deck has found a means to access Baron, all because of a little tech choice built into the deck. Okay, sure. I also see that we are playing a Terribly Tired Teddy Bear in here as well. And we're actually citing the Rage. That's actually kind of cool to see. Okay, and the last list we actually have for you is a Dark Magician list. Unfortunately, this list didn't do too spicy, but I wanted to include it in the list available because I was like, okay, we've seen, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon turbo decks before, but this list was kind of cool. Like, it's actually side decking a Dark Magic attack. Like, when was the last time you saw that? I gotta give props to the Duelist here as well. They're playing a magic formula in here. If it's sent to the graveyard, gain 1,000 life points. This is a little time card right here. I see we're getting a little bit saucy out here. And this build also, Swords of Concealing Light. Very interesting choice for some of the more little rogue options that I feel like this build was trying to bring to the table. But, Dark Magician, or at least, a pseudo-fast turbo Dragoon deck like this, trying to set up a lot of the options. Hello, Winda. Yeah, very good card. You're just trying your best to set up very strong boss monster, possibly Secret Village lock your opponent, and kind of call it a day. That's honestly all you really need to see or do right now. So, what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.